Yeah, this is the sign here, right? Yeah, and when they're coming up. Yeah, see? Yes. Nice. The Uber took about 30 minutes. Yeah, so this is it, guys. Bacardi rum. Yeah. Bacardi. Bacardi rum. Yes. And see the sign? Bacardi. Bacardi rum. This is the sign. This is the sign. Yeah. Good. Nice. So they said at 9:30 we're allowed to walk up there. So yeah, we're gonna wait to walk. Yeah.
You never heard of that before?
So we'll wait. So guys, we're walking up now to Casa Bacardi. So guys, when you come, if you take a Uber here, they're gonna let you off at the entrance and you have to walk all the way to come up here. But if you drive, you could come drive up and park over here. Look at the windmill. Oh, pick up and drop off is here. Pick up and drop off is here for the Uber. Ooh. There goes what we're going to be going on the tour in. Ooh, get ready to rum. Oh, Bat Cave. Get ready to rum. On the line. Ooh. Take out your ID. So guys, we're on the rum tour. It's starting now, Bacardi. Yes.
How are we doing today?
Good.
Early morning, we'll pick up an access to tomorrow, okay? My name is Nayes. I'm happy and excited to do an experience for you guys today. Now, welcome to Bacardi, CASA BACARDI, aka Rum Paradise, aka the world's largest premium distillery. Now, this is your legacy experience, which means we'll be learning all about the magic of Bacardi, how it all began, the innovations, and just about everything you need to know. We're going to be seeing a little bit about the distillery over there too. Here, the science, the production line, and then the inside portion going to be engaging with the innovations done to the rum making process and maybe even trying one out if you're good. Okay. Yeah, that sounds good. You want to get started?
Yay! Yes.
All right, my friends, then we are officially off.
Woo! Hi, welcome
Once
center.
again, welcome to your legacy experience. Now, as we are officially setting off, two very important safety rules are needed to be known. The first one is this is an active distillery making alcohol 24/7, so no smoking or vaping is allowed. The second rule is, as this show is moving, please keep your arms, hands, neck, feet, mind, body, and entire soul within your vehicle at all times, and only stand up section on the right side once we come to a complete stop. And if anything were to happen to it, excuse at all, the difference in the meeting spot is always just a building over to your right side where it just came from. Now, with all that out of the way, let's get started. The incident had to go back out of the it all began 164 years ago, on February 4th, 1862, with a man named Puerto Rico. So, if you didn't know, Bacardi is our family name, and we actually have members of that family alive to this very day. We have over 800 members worldwide, in fact. In the 8th generation, with members of the 6th and 7th still in all of the company itself. That's why Bacardi remains the world's largest privately owned beer company. Now, Puerto Bacardi is now in the first distillery in Santiago de Cuba, so over there to your right side, beyond the hallway, beyond the water, that line of buildings in the distance, that is Old Town 110. Raise your hand. Who here has been to Old Town 1 already?
Me.
Okay, very good. If you have not gone, I highly encourage you to do so, okay? And if you already went, go again.
Yes.
It is the oldest city of Puerto Rico, so it does have a lot of history and a lot to see. Now, it was in 1958, 22 years after establishing here, that we moved to Catania, across the bay over here to the island's smallest municipality. And we acquired 137 acres of swampland. So all this you see around you actually used to be swampland.
This used to be all swampland, guys.
Over here on the left side, we have the iconic Bacardi Rum Tour, the symbol of the fact. Now, I'll tell you all about the symbols and the meaning later, but for now, just know that we have this design since the very beginning. 164 years of experience. But the style of the design itself has changed over time. For example, on the left side, we have the more modern, realistic version that we use for our models and our logos nowadays. But if you look over to our right side, that's this beautiful seashell-looking building, what we call the Bacardi Rum Tour. Right above the doorway, you're going to notice the more stylized design of the map. And that's the one that we're using before adopting the new one, which means some of you, including myself, started to get to know about that feature, so you can that one instead. Now, let's learn about the rum itself, okay? It's very important for us to know that every expression of Bacardi that you or I have ever tasted our entire life is actually a combination of two rum bases. That's what Bacardi is, right? One of them we call aguardiente, the other one we call destilado, or redistillate. And over here at Casa Bacardi, we don't officially consider it to be rum until those two things get joined up together. Before that, they're only ever known as rum bases, but not the rum itself. Okay, very important to know. In fact, we're making a random right here, right? So if you look over ahead of us to the right side, that's all building that says Bacardi at the top. You're going to notice that right behind it is a single column still. Yeah. Very shiny reflection on the outside. Now, that is where we make our first rum base, aguardiente, also known as our heavy rum base. Heavy because it has a lot of flavor and aroma straight from the juice of the fermentation process. Now, this one also has 85% alcohol content to it, which sounds like a lot because there is a lot of course. But it's actually less than our second rum base, which we make over there directly to our right side, the four columns still in the distance. We make the distillate. Now, as the name and the amount of columns might apply, we actually distill one several times. 5 times to be exact, okay? Every time we distill, we get the alcohol more and more and more until it reaches about 94.75%.
Oh, wow.
Alright? What is the process we pretty much remove everything else that's not alcohol? That's what we call a light rum base, even though it has way more alcohol. Now, once we have these two rum bases, we're going to go through the aging process. And then, they're going to end up in that building over there with the green piston windows at the rounded corner. That is our blending facility. And it's there that Bacardi is officially born, right? Because the rum bases finish their journey. They ferment, they distill, they age, and then they blend over there. And Bacardi is officially born as the final expression. Now, once this is said and done, we're going to replicate it on a much larger scale, multiplying by the amount of people that are going to be consuming it worldwide. And then we send it over to Jacksonville, Florida. That's where we have our bottling facility. So it's very important to know we don't bottle Bacardi here. We send it over there, bottle it up, and then distribute it to the rest of the world. In fact, also another important detail. Here at Casa Bacardi, we only ever make the classic expressions of the rum, which means absolutely nothing is added to our rum except just more and more time in the barrel. So, if you're wondering about things like Bacardi Black, Bacardi Spice, Coco, Limon, the ones that have flavor added to them, that happens over there in Jacksonville, Florida. Now, coming up over here to our right side, the building I mentioned earlier, this is actually the very first building ever constructed here in 1958. Wow. And it has a very cool name. We call it...
This is the first building, 1958.
Now, the Cathedral of Rum, like I said, is the first building, but it's actually...
Those are the workers,
the most important building in the entire world. At least for Bacardi, right? And rum lovers. Because this is where we keep our secret ingredient, something we know as the Bacardi yeast. Now, very quickly I'll mention that to make any kind of rum whatsoever, we need 3 simple ingredients, okay? We need yeast, molasses, and water. That is it. But of course, the
yeast, molasses, and water.
It's a very specific one, okay? It's a single strain of yeast that Don Facundo Bacardi himself discovered in Cuba over 164 years ago. And it's actually this yeast that when you use it to ferment, gives Bacardi its flavor profile, right? Without this yeast, you simply cannot make or replicate Bacardi any other way. It's way too important. If this were to disappear off the face of the planet or burn out, Bacardi would stop existing entirely, right? That is how important it is. Which is why this building is so important, because in the fourth floor, where you see the windows open, in a laboratory behind 3 sets of locked doors with only about 11 people in the entire world having direct access to it, we keep assembled the original mother yeast. Meaning this is one of the oldest strains of yeast in the entire world. And like I said, important as it is, super top secret, without this yeast, there is no Bacardi. So remember, my friends, don't tell your friends. Did you turn it up a little bit? Awesome. Is it a good better volume? Yeah. Awesome. Now, as for how the yeast itself is used, over here on the right side, we have the very first part of the whole rum making process, fermentation. Now, I'll be telling you all about fermentation in more specific details later, but for now, just know that this is where the 3 ingredients come together, right? They begin the fermentation process. After that, we distill the product so that we can get our rum basis. After we have a rum basis, we age it after aging it correct. So even though there's a lot of complicated steps in the whole process, the 4 main pillars of Bacardi are fermentation, distillation, aging, and blending. Now, with all that being said, we are now arriving at the end of the trolley portion. So, once we go to the complete stop, feel free to exit over on the right side. We are going to be entering the building on the glass door to the left of the mural, okay? And please take care not to leave any of your belongings, because once we exit this building, we will be walking back to the pavilion ahead of us. Okay, my friends?
Thank you.
For the shenanigans.
Okay, so now we're gonna walk inside. Sugar cane.
Now, welcome everybody to the Visitor Center. Here we're going to be having the rest of our experience. So, the first room we're in, we call it the Spanish Courtyard. Here you see architecture and aesthetic reminiscent of Spanish Caribbean art. The reason we have this is because you find a lot of this in Cuba, Puerto Rico, and Spain back in the colonial era, right, when we were still colonies of Spain. Now, this hints at hidden legacies that not a lot of people know about. For example, everybody associates it with Cuba, because of course that's where the company itself was founded. But our founder, Facundo Bacardi himself, was actually from Catalonia, Spain. He was Spanish, that's why the combination of these different aesthetics, right? Yeah. Now, it was when he was 15 years old, he went over to Cuba, where he spent the remainder of his days. And during his time there, he spent 10 years trying to change and innovate the entire spirit-making industry. In fact, he created what we know today as the first light-body drum in history, in the universe, as far as we know. Now, before today, is that a term any of you have heard before? Light-body drum? No. The learning starts now. Now, it might actually surprise you to know that light-body rum, every single rum that you or I have ever tasted is light-body rum, right? We just say rum is shorthand. What it means is it is consistent, palatable, and mixable. Now, the first light-body rum in history came out 164 years ago. You actually know what it is. Bacardi Superior Carta Blanca, the white rum, Bacardi Superior. That is the first thing that came out that we know as rum, right? Now, rum did exist before Bacardi for a long, long time, hundreds of years, right? But it was more of an umbrella term. It was a very altogether different substance, right? We called it aguardiente, which translates to fire water, or burning water. You can imagine the sensation, right? We also had another name for it, by the way. We called it mata diablo. Anybody know what that means? Devil killer. So these names, and this, like, you can imagine the sensation that people got from drinking this, right? Aguardiente was an extremely harsh and unpalatable substance. Okay? Nobody liked to consume this stuff. The reason they did so? It's alcohol. It's there. It's accessible, okay? It was so easy to make rum. Like I said earlier, you need 3 ingredients. Very simple ones, by the way. Yeast, molasses, and water. And back in the day, you didn't even have to worry about one of them, which is the yeast. Because people use something called a wild fermentation process. Now, yeast is a living microscopic organism, which means it can have different strains. And depending on the strain that you use, you're going to get a very different flavor. So, wild fermentation means you mix molasses and water, leave it in some corner of the room, and then you allow the yeast in the atmosphere to start fermenting those sugars. But the problem is, there are hundreds or thousands of different strains in the atmosphere. So the end result is always going to be a mishmash of flavors that do not go well together. That's why it was super, super unpalatable. But like I said, super easy to make. So that's why people mainly consume it, right? But it was more of an umbrella term because if you use this method, you would get a very inconsistent flavor each and every time. So there wasn't this one thing that really tasted like rum. You just didn't use rum to describe anything you fermented using sugarcane. In fact, you could ferment 2 batches side by side in the same room, and they would have different flavors between them because all the yeast is so different in the air. Now, ultimately what Facundo wanted to do was make it accessible and also palatable, something the public could actually enjoy. And that's why he spent 10 years, trial and error, making Bacardi superior, changing the world and our lives in the process. Now, we'll learn all about the innovations he made later, but now I want to talk to you about the bat itself, right? The symbol of the bat. Super iconic, it's been around for 164 years. Anybody here know why we use it? Would you like to know? Yeah. Now, it all begins with Facundo Bacardi and his wife, Doña Amalia, okay? By the way, remember that name. Doña Amalia is a key central figure in this story, okay? When they bought their first distillery together over in Cuba, it was secondhand. So they went inside, wanted to check it out, make sure everything was up to code, and they saw a colony of fruit bats in the rafters, nesting and attracted to the smell of the molasses in the area. Now, maybe where you're from, maybe where you've been in the world, you come across this idea of bats being really negatively regarded, right? But they're always used like represent bad omens, symbols of the occult. They're associated with plagues, disease, rabies, COVID, vampires, Batman, Dracula, scary things.
No.
So in a lot of parts of the world, they get a bad rap. But it's very important for us to know, in the Caribbean specifically, it is the complete opposite, okay? For cultures and centuries, they've always been venerated because they're essential for the ecosystem, okay? They're amazing pollinators. They spread seeds on our plant growth, and they also eat a lot of harmful insects for us, like maybe mosquitoes.
Oh.
I cannot overstate how important they are for keeping bat population in check, okay? Without mosquitoes, without bats, everything will go haywire. The mosquito population rises. Now, because of these things, cultures like the Cuban culture, Puerto Rican culture, Spanish culture, even the indigenous Taínos, always associated 3 main values to them, which are good health, good portion, and family unity. Now, this makes it almost a no-brainer for anybody to use this design in any place that has a positive connotation, right? Which is what Doña Amalia did. Now, she was a very well-educated person who was a lover of the arts and of history, so she knew everything I just told you and a lot more. So that when she saw the bats, she took it almost like a sign from God, right? Divine providence, that the company would grow and prosper under their care. So that's why she was the one to recommend using the design. In fact, she drew up the very first one, which you can see over here in the ringlets.
Oh,
Yeah, very neat contrast, right? The first expression was a bat. We want a more modern, realistic one.
wow.
Now, of course, she had this symbolism in mind when she chose the design, right? But she also had a really practical reason. And this next part I'm going to tell you is essential for why Bacardi is so well known today, right? Back in the day, most people were illiterate, so they couldn't read or write. Now, when Bacardi hit the shelves, even though it said Rum Bacardi, nobody could read it. But what do you think they saw immediately? The symbol of the bat, of course. Eye-catching, unmistakable, everybody got to know the rum that way. Because of the positive connotation, you entered the bar, you saw a bat across the room, you made a beeline to it, right? And then you would ask for it. But you wouldn't say, give me Bacardi, because of course, you couldn't read that. You would look at the bat and say, dame el ron del murciélago, which means, give me the rum of the bat. So rum of the bat is actually the first name that Bacardi had, at least when officially on the street, right? That's how you would talk about it. You wouldn't tell your friends, hey, dude, check out Bacardi. You probably say something like, hey, I saw Three Spirit, don't know the name, don't care, but I saw that, go check it out. Very easy to get it, right? That means that eventually through word of mouth, everybody got to know the rum of the bat. And Bacardi will become a household name, right? But for the longest time, that rum de murciélago was what everybody talked about. And so, the more you know.
Yeah.
Nice. You know Bacardi historians now. How's it feel?
Good. Excellent.
Okay, why not? Now, you are going to be learning a lot more about the history, the legacy, the rum, once we go through these doors over here, okay? This next portion is our theater portion. We call it the Bat Theater.
Ooh.
So we have to come along at your pace, grab your bat seats whenever you're ready, and let's get started.
Yes.
By the way, we're going to call them bat seats, I call them bat seats, okay?
In every rum tour, I've seen sugar cane.
With the bats flying overhead. I'm kidding. Welcome, my friend. Welcome to the Bat Theater. Now, as I mentioned, we're going to be watching a short 7-minute film that delves a little bit more into the history of Bacardi, right? As a family, as a company, as a rum, just about everything, right? So, once the movie is over, feel free to have any questions, let me know, okay? But most importantly, enjoy the movie. Are you guys going to enjoy the movie?
Yes, thank you.
Just wanted to make sure. I'll see you in a minute.
Okay.
Welcome to our home. Bienvenidos a la Casa Bacardi. Your journey today takes you from our humble beginnings more than 150 years ago to our status as one of the world's favorite premium rum brands. Our story begins on February 4th, 1862, in Santiago de Cuba, where our founder, Don Facundo Bacardi Mazo, began experimenting with the distillation of rum. He began by questioning every step of the process. After fermenting the sugarcane molasses, he distilled the spirit using methods he invented. He then added 4 new steps never tried before: charcoal mellowing the distillate drop by drop, and aging it for several years in mature oak casks, blending his rums into a new type of spirit that met his high standards. His smooth and light-bodied rum had a quality unlike any other he had ever tasted. In order to supply his rums beyond his friends and family, he purchased a small tin roof distillery for the price of 3,500 pesos. After entering the distillery, his wife Amalia noticed a colony of fruit bats hanging from the rafters. As a lover of the arts, she knew instantly that this would be the perfect logo for her husband's rum, as Spanish and Cuban lore regarded bats as a symbol of good health, fortune, and family unity. In search of an identifiable emblem, Don Facundo employed the bat as a trademark for his new rum. Bacardi rum became known as El Ron del Murciélago, or the rum of the bat. Since 1862, Bacardi rum has been awarded more than 550 times in international expositions and competitions, including the distinguished gold medal awarded in Barcelona in 1888. On this date, Her Majesty, the Regent Maria Cristina, appointed Bacardi purveyors to the royal Spanish household, and Bacardi forever became known as the King of Rums and the Rum of Kings. To celebrate the end of the Spanish-American War in 1900, Bacardi was used to create the first ever Cuba Libre, Bacardi and Coke, now one of the most ordered cocktails around the world. Previously, it was also used to create the mojito and daiquiri. Don Facundo's children enhanced his legacy. His eldest son, Emilio, as the first president of the company, expanded to New York and Spain. His long struggles for independence and his imprisonment for anti-colonial activities identified him as a patriot. However, his philanthropic and literary achievements are what gave him recognition as Santiago de Cuba's favorite son. Another son, Facundo, patiently continued his father's work, adapting his formulas to modern technology and training select members of the family's third generation. He is remembered throughout his family as the master of rums. Jose, the third son, extended the sales arm of the company to Havana, and daughter Amalia's husband, Enrique Schweg, is known as the company's architect of expansion. Of course, good fellowship and Bacardi go hand in hand. Throughout its history, Bacardi as a company has had the ability to turn adversity into opportunities. Take Prohibition. America's unsuccessful experiment was the company's gain, as the Volstead Act prohibited the consumption of alcohol in the United States, so Americans turned to Cuba for fun and enjoyment. Havana nightlife and the dramatic Art Deco-style building, Edificio Bacardi, became an international icon for style and sophistication. At the same time, Enrique Schweg began to produce Bacardi rum in the same way and under the same demanding standards outside of Cuba. He expanded the production of Bacardi to Mexico and to our first facility in Puerto Rico. Bacardi rum was also the subject of a New York Supreme Court ruling in 1936. As company president, Enrique Schweg ensured that when you ask for Bacardi by name, it's Bacardi rum you must be served. After Prohibition, the company opened a sales office in New York City, later moved to Miami, and now currently in Coral Gables, Florida. Under the direction of Enrique's son-in-law, Jose Pepin Bosch, the company continued to expand. In fact, the current facility in Cataño, Puerto Rico, was established in 1958 and is the world's largest premium rum distillery. Christened by then Puerto Rico Governor, the Honorable Luis Muñoz Marin, as the Cathedral of Rum. 3 years later, the Bacardi Visitor Center opened in Puerto Rico and has been welcoming guests ever since. In 1862, our founder's son, Facundo, planted a coconut palm in front of the distillery in Cuba. The building grew around El Coco and gave rise to the legend that Bacardi would survive in Cuba so long as the palm tree lives. Jealously guarded for close to a century, it withered and died shortly before the country's revolutionary regime confiscated the company's assets in Cuba. Shortly after, the Bacardi family, along with a multitude of their countrymen, went into exile. Exile Pepin Bosch masterminded a global expansion. With the company's iconic rum trademark and secret formula safely outside of Cuba, by 1978, Bacardi rum became the #1 premium spirit brand in the United States. The following year, #1 in the world. Following the exact formula, distillation and mellowing techniques pioneered by our founder in 1862, Bacardi continues to be at the forefront of innovation, like the first rum that ran from our stills. New expressions of Don Facundo's masterpiece continue to bear his trademark, a trademark of quality and excellence that is recognized the world over. Whether you say Bacardi or Bacardi, we welcome you to enjoy our premium rum aged under the sun. So you see, there's more than meets the eye. Bacardi is a tradition of unparalleled commitment and a passion for making the world's best rums for your enjoyment. On behalf of the Bacardi family and our employees, we welcome you to explore Casa Bacardi.
How are we feeling?
Good.
Good. Feel like we learned a lot?
Yes.
Any questions? Okay, we're all Bacardi historians now. I love it. Now, so we're not done yet. Now we're going to take a trip back in time to 1862. Back to Facundo's distillery so we can learn all about the innovations he made to the rum making process and how we use that to this very day. Sound good?
Yes.
Awesome. Follow me over here. Let's go to our left side. Welcome, my friends. Welcome to Facundo's distillery. So here we have a replica of the very first one that he had over in Santiago de Cuba. Now, we're still using the very same process that he pioneered 164 years ago, right? We simply have much better technology. For example, we have 21 fermentation tanks, each one with a 50,000 gallon capacity, still a lot. But back in the day, that single one was all that he was using over there at the top. Quite the contrast in scale, right? The operation has changed, a lot faster, a lot bigger, more mass producible, but it's still the same method he was using. So I'm going to talk to you about what he used to do. Now, in that container, he would put 3 ingredients: the yeast, the molasses, and the water. Very nice. I'm going to quiz you guys later, okay? Just kidding. Now, the molasses is diluted by the water enough that it makes it super easy for the yeast to consume the sugar and through a biological process turn it into alcohol. So we get the alcohol from scratch. Now, after about 24 to 30 hours, we get a fermented mash called distiller's beer. It's called a beer because it has a little bit of alcohol, but it's not for consumption, okay? This is for distillation. We let the distiller's beer fall into this alembic pot still, made of copper. Fill it up to this height. Facundo sets fire underneath to evaporate the alcohol. That way, it turns into a gas and separates from the rest of the mash, purifying the content of the alcohol. It travels as a gas all the way to that chamber over there and condenses back into a liquid over there at the top. Now, once it condenses into a liquid, it's okay. It condenses into a liquid. It has way more alcohol to it and a lot of flavor and aroma straight from the yeast in the fermentation process. That's how we get to our 85%, right? Now, aguardiente, the first rum base we make this way, is the DNA of our rum. Earlier I told you that the yeast is what gives Bacardi's unique flavor profile, which means that the aguardiente is what brings forth a lot of that flavor. Now, we set that aside and we do the exact same thing to another batch, but instead of distilling one time, we distill 5 different times. Every time we distill, bring up the alcohol more and more and more until it gets to its 94.75%. So, once these are made, they're going to go through the aging process, and that's how they acquire different properties. So, if you want to learn more about that, follow me over here to the back of the room. Thank you so much. Now, as you're making your way over here, you're going to notice 2 copper pipes above you, coming from the condensation chamber. So, it's very important for us to know. Yes, of course, get closer. It's very important for us to know that the rum bases themselves are the things going through the whole process, okay? Bacardi is just something that comes into existence at the very end. But the rum bases ferment, distill, and age on their own independently. So that's what's gonna go on here. The rum bases each deposit into their own containers. Then they're gonna filter through this container filled with a secret charcoal blend, okay? This is called charcoal filtration. By doing this, we can get the harshness from the rum out of it, right? Extract the harshness, shape the dominant flavor profiles that we want. This is what makes it light bodied, as well as a single strain of yeast, okay? This is super important. If we don't filter through the activated charcoal, the rum will still be too harsh to drink, okay? No matter how perfectly we made everything else be. So, we filter, then it's gonna land in their American white oak barrels. Now, this is when the aging process starts. We can keep them there for like 2, 4, 8, 10, 12 years. It's gonna acquire different properties as the time goes by. So this is really the main difference between all of Bacardi. They all start out the exact same way with 2 rum bases blending together. But the rum bases themselves are gonna be different depending on the age that we give them, so that when they come together, they bring different properties. And that's how you get Bacardi. And so now you know the secret. You can make Bacardi at your house. Any questions so quick?
We don't know the yeast.
That's a new problem. I told you where it is, but don't use my name in the catcher. Now, any questions about the whole process? Are you maybe ready to learn about the rum itself, the different ones, and maybe even taste one of them at the end?
Yeah.
Awesome, then follow me over here. Come along, my friends. The end of the experience is called the Havana Bar. That is the final room we're going to be visiting and talking about the rum itself.
Nice. Nice room. Wow. Barrels of rum. I want to be quarantined in here. Woo!
You gotta dance with it.
Yay! Bacardi. This is a nice room. Wow. I want to be quarantined. We took a picture. Which one I'm going to Huh?
Surprise. Welcome everybody to the Havana Bar. Now, this here is a replica of a speakeasy that you would find in Santiago de Cuba. Over there you find bacardi on the shelf, so it's here I want to talk to you about all the classic expressions that we make, okay? Now, you have it over here, the aging process manifest.
So guys, we're at the T-Mobile area in Puerto Rico, right? We're gonna go inside, but I want to just show you guys, if you want to do the zip line, right? This is the place. Yeah, this is the place. Look at this. Yeah, that's for arcade games, climbing the wall, zip lining. Come right here, guys. And the place is Toro Verde Urban Park, which is this sign right here. Yeah. Toro Verde Urban Park to zip line, guys. And where is the zip line? It is up there in the sky. I don't know if you guys can see it, but yeah. Oh, the zip line, it starts from right here. Oh, there's two of them. It's right here up in the sky. Yeah, so that's the place to zip line. So we're gonna go inside. It's early, it's about lunchtime, stuff like this. Oh, they have a code of conduct as well. Very nice. I have a question, right? Do we have any local like restaurants here that have Puerto Rican food?
Yeah. Once you get to the middle, you see where it says arena up there?
Yeah.
Once you get there, take a left. You'll
A
see
left?
some-
Oh, okay.
Excuse me, sir.
Thank you. So this is a T-Mobile building, guys. This is where you zip line, Toro Verde. You want to go in? And ask them how much it is. Oh, it's not open yet? What time do they open? You check all the doors? That you don't have to do it? Oh. Ooh, look at it. If only it was a real one, I would take it home. What? You have the bathroom here at the entrance. What? Oh, you're lucky. Pudgy's Pizza. So it's like a galleria of places to eat. Bato. Let's check out the galleria here. Nice. Pudgy's Pizza. Or maybe Sasson. Cocina Criolla. Bacardi Bueno. Oh, Medalla. What do they have over there? Little things. Almost at this place. Oh, and they have live music over here at night. I have a big giant fan here. This is the T-Mobile place, guys. They have live performances up here at night. At night, this place turned into a it turned into a dance theater at night. Oh, look at even the walls have stuff. Coca-Cola Music Hall. Wow, nice. So if you come into Puerto Rico, guys, make sure you guys come to the T-Mobile building, okay? Make sure you guys come check it out. They have like various restaurants around, like if you want steak, burgers, if you want nachos, whatever you want, they have it here. Tacos. Oh, they have al pastor tacos, rum bar. So like a various the security. Ooh. You're able to sit down over there. Nice. So we're gonna try the taco place here. Oh, it smells good here. Nice. Patrone. Hello. Hi. So we want to try some tacos. Yeah, I want a table. I love your hair. What color is it? That's like greenish.
Aqua.
Oh, aqua. Wow, I love it.
You want to go in here or out?
No, in here. No, two people.
Gonna be two, right?
Yeah, two of us. This place is nice. We're gonna have some tacos. Nice. Yes.
Yeah? You want inside or outside?
In here, in here. It's cool in here. Okay.
Enjoy.
Oh, alright. Oh, we could sit over there. Oh, hello. We could sit over there?
Where?
Over there. Over here. Here. This is for more than two
Oh yeah, this
people.
is for 5 people.
Oh.
But these tables.
Oh, I
This
want to
one
sit
over-
over there. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. Comfortable. Thank you. Yeah, this is fine. Ooh. What's the name of this place? So guys, we're here. We're gonna have some tacos. Where's the menu? So we're waiting to have the menu. Nice.
The youngest and lightest rum over to the oldest and boldest. Now, the first thing we want to learn, aging is not a linear goal-oriented process, okay? We don't try to age for the most amount of years because that's just the tastiest rum there is. That is a misconception, okay? At each stage, all of these rums have a very unique property to them, right? For example, this is not a stronger version of this, and likewise, this is not a stronger version of this, and so on and so forth, right? At every year, the chemistry in the barrel changes the properties of the rum itself. So these are going to have vastly different properties between them, which means they are very good for specific things. And this, even though of course it takes a lot more time to get to, it has a lot more complexity to it, is not inherently better than the white rum. They just have different jobs and different palates that could appreciate them. Now, let me talk about all of them and what you could use them for. The first two, we have the original recipes from Facundo Bacardi himself. Bacardi Superior Carta Blanca y Bacardi Carta Oro, white and gold. This is a blend of rums 1 to 2 years old. By the way, I'm going to be referring to all the rums as rum blends because they can have different ages of rum bases inside of them. For example, this being 1 to 2 years means that it could have aguardiente 1 year old, we distill it 2 years old. Put together, rum blend of 1 to 2 years. Now, this one put us on the map 164 years ago. It's the first thing that came out that we call rum. So is there anybody here that has never seen this bottle before in their life? Impossible, right? Is there anybody who feels like they've seen it too many times? Exacto. Probably everybody here and their grandmother and their great-grandmother has seen this rum. 164 years is a lot, and it's the first thing that came out that we call tasty rum, right? Now with this, being so old, it's a very historical rum. It's made a few classic cocktails in its day. For example, anybody heard of the mojito? Of course, this made the first mojito ever, right? Because it's so light, it's not gonna overpower a light ingredient like the mint, okay? Very specific. Now, all of us here, we go to parties or events and we've seen this rum there, right? We have mixed it with several different things. And it's because it's so versatile, right? It's so light, it's not gonna overpower anything. The inverse is true. It's very easy to overpower this rum if you use it in things that are very strong. For example, who has made piña colada or coquito? Coconut, pineapple, very bold flavors. When you use this rum, it gets overpowered very easily. But I'll talk about that more a little bit here. Now in this one, it made the mojito, it made the first daiquiri, which in case you don't know what it is, what if I say daiquiri? Daiquiri, just a Spanish form of saying it, right? It made the first one, it made the first Internacional, it made the first Daisy Santiago, and so on and so forth, right? This opened the door to a lot of what cocktail culture came to be. Now, we have over here Bacardi Gold. Anybody here who has not seen this one? Well, both are the exact same age, right? 164 years. This one is a blend of rums 2 to 3 years, so a little bit of extra time, but it makes all the difference, right? This is what you would use to pair with stronger ingredients, things that have more complexity in their notes, something more acidic, like let's say Coca-Cola and lime juice. What does that make? Oh, I got different answers. Cuba Libre, rum and coke. The answer is Cuba Libre. Exacto. This is very specifically a Cuba Libre. But if you said rum and coke, you're not completely off, because if I switch the ingredients and use this rum, then it becomes a rum and coke.
Oh.
Ooh, racist, I'm gonna blow your mind.
Oh.
Because if I mix these ingredients with this rum, you know what it's called? Rum and coke. And if I mix it with this one, what is it going to be called? Rum and coke. And over here?
Rum and coke.
And over here?
Rum and coke.
Expensive rum and coke. But it's all rum and coke all the way through to infinity with every single rum, okay? The only way it's ever going to be a Cuba Libre is if you use Bacardi Gold, okay? And the reason why is because Cuba Libre is a cocktail. Rum and coke is a drink, okay? And these are not the same thing. It's not interchangeable, okay? A drink is a completely subjective experience, super personal to you. Whatever you want to get out of it is what you put into it. For example, over here, we find that in a lot of events, a lot of different juices we can use, right? So we mix it up depending on what we like. That is a drink. Because a cocktail, very specifically, has a set list of ingredients, and most importantly, it has context to it, historical context. The Cuba Libre has a lot of history and a reason why it was invented. So, in 1898, right after the Spanish-American War, Cuba stopped being a colony of Spain. And as the story goes, it was due in part to the help of US troops that were stationed in the island, so that when the war was over, the two of them got together and decided to put forth what they considered to be their best, in terms of drinks at the time, of course, right? This was 1898, which means classic Coca-Cola was all the rage in the world. It was the most popular thing around. In Cuba, we only have these two rums, which means gold was Cuba's crown jewel. Put them together, cut it with some lime, and there you have a declaration of a free, independent Cuba. Cuba Libre means free Cuba. So it tells a story, right, with these ingredients, with the context. The fact that that is the rum that was used in the original creation means it is the only way it's going to be a Cuba Libre. Any other rum, it's all well and good, right? It's not about taste or whether it's better or not. It's just history. This one has it, these ones do not. So the first rum and coke was invented in 1898. Because Cuba Libre is technically, of course, rum and coke. It just has a very special place in it, right? I like to say, you know, in your hands, all thumbs are fingers, but not all fingers are thumbs, right? So, all Cuba Libres are rum and cokes, but not all rum and cokes are Cuba Libres. Do you guys know that? Okay, nice, learning a lot here. Historical rums. This also made the first piña colada, by the way. Do you know where it was made?
Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico, exacto. The specific place, we don't know. And you ask anybody here, nobody knows the real place because it's the piña colada. Everybody wants to have the credit, right? So we have different places claiming ownership, like, oh, we made it. No, we made it. Who knows what's real? But we do know it's Puerto Rico. Now, over here, the first modern expression, añejo cuatro. Añejo means age. So a blend of rums 4 to 7 years. We always put the youngest year in the bottle so you know that at least that amount of time has gone into the whole process, okay? With this one, this is the premium mixing rum, okay? This is very intense. If you put it in your rum and coke, for example, you're gonna overpower the coke. If you put it in something like the mojito, you could do it. It's really good. It adds complexity, but you have to use more of the other ingredients to compensate, right? Because this is gonna overpower very easily. The thing that this works best in, it tells you right there with this design. Tropical palm trees means tropical cocktails and drinks are what you want to use this for. Things like piña colada is excellent, coquito as well, rum islander, anything that has passion fruit, tamarind, all these things, excellent choice. I said over there, the gold invented the piña colada, but this one perfected it. Because it's so intense and bold, it's going to cut through anything you throw at it. Pineapple and coconut, passion fruit and tamarind are extremely intense, okay? They're going to overpower the white rum immediately. In fact, if anybody here has made piña colada or coquito using the white rum, you probably know that you have used a lot of rum, right? It's super normalized here. But it's not because it's the best one for the job, it's because this is the most accessible thing around. Because whenever you do a taste test with those cocktails, you don't taste the rum, no matter how much you put in, because everything else is overwhelming it. So what happens is, your hand slips, it sneaks up on you, you waste more product, right? Come on, okay. Overall, you're not getting what you want in the taste, and you are just getting the bad things, right? But if you use this rum, both of the problems go away. You're gonna use a little bit because you don't have to use that much to get to where you need. It saves you money in the long run, and it gives you the profile that you want. Has anybody ever used this one, by the way? No? Yeah, it makes sense. This one came out around 9 years ago. It replaced another popular rum that we had in the lineup. Maybe you guys know it a little too well. 151. Those relatable laughs. I get you. This one replaced it in the lineup. It's meant to do a similar job, but it has the standard 40% alcohol. So it's not going to be too overpowering as well. Now, those are the mixing rums. These are the sipping rums, okay? Totally different game. At the 8 to 10 year mark, all the sugars from the barrel are absorbed into the rum, making the profile a lot sweeter and also a lot smoother, okay? This one has more viscosity to it. This is my personal favorite rum, which means I have a lot to say. Start taking notes. With this one, it's so versatile, you're not even gonna believe what you can use it for, right? So you can drink it, right? You can, if you want a cocktail, I believe the old-fashioned, a rum old-fashioned with this rum is excellent, okay? You can also have it neat. or you can also have it on the rocks. But if you use ice, I recommend you freeze coconut water instead of using regular ice water.
Oh.
Yes, changing lives. Because as it melts, they're watering down the rum and just add more flavor to it. So really good experience, much better mellows it as well. But let's get creative, okay? Because I think where this rum really shines is in food and dessert. Now, you've all tried rum cake, maybe.
Yeah.
Use this rum, you're never gonna go back. But you can also use it for crème brûlée. Mix it together, right? You can also use it for tres leche. You can use it for flan. I recommend vanilla flan specifically. You can mix it with ice cream. I recommend vanilla and butter pecan. These are pro tips. By the way, I'm not telling you to eat these things and then drink it. I'm telling you to mix them. And also maybe have it on the side to drink. You can also mix it with maple syrup. Put it on your pancakes, French toast, waffles, egg rolls, whatever you like. On a Saturday morning when you have more roast unless you want a fun and last day of work. Now, any barbecue fans? Ooh, mix this with your barbecue sauce, okay? Really excellent stuff. In fact, if you want to be even fancier at the cookout, use a little bit of this, just a tiny amount, okay? It goes a long way. Pour it on the charcoals, then close the lid, okay? Because the steam and the vapor gets absorbed into the meat itself.
Wow.
Yes. I love that I'm just
I need to
rearranging your brain chemistry. What else? Oh, I have not tried this one personally, but someone, like a lot of people have told me already, that bananas foster with this rum, excellent choice too. Can you tell us my favorite one? See, like, and all these things I'm telling you, like, I've tried them. So if you want to like experiment and see what other things you could mix it with, totally within, really good. Now, here we have the premium sipping rum, the sipping fan favorite, Gran Reserva 10, a blend from 10 to 12 years. Now, in this stage, we get more of the oaky and smoky flavors from the barrel. So anybody here maybe like whiskey, bourbon, cognac, brandy, stuff like that? Yeah. This probably would be your favorite rum because it's so similar to those things, but also has more body to it because of its time in the barrel. So it's an overall much smoother experience. Which is why you're really going to find anybody really mixing or pairing this with stuff, because they enjoy the taste of it more so on its own. But one thing I can recommend is using this to pair with coffee. Okay? You can do two things. You can have rum with coffee, or you can have coffee with rum. And you cannot go wrong either way, right? Rum with coffee, just have it neat. Put 3, 4, 5 coffee beans inside the rum itself, and it causes a chemical reaction that infuses it with the flavor of coffee. Really excellent stuff, makes you feel fancy even. The second option, just pour it into your coffee. Easy as that, really good too. Café con rum. Now we arrive at the end. This is the house special. CASA BACARDI Special Reserve. Oohs and ahs all around.
Pricey bottle.
Ooh, the pricey bottle, the expensive rum and coke. This one is excellent, right? It's the most unique and exclusive blend of rums we have here. Exclusive because you're simply not going to find this absolutely anywhere else in the world, not even anywhere else in the island. Not even the next time over, okay? The only place where you can witness His Majesty is here at CASA BACARDI. Now, as for what makes this so special, it's a blend of rums 8 to 12 years, so it's a wide range, right? Now, that would make it special on its own because it has the best properties of these two over here. But we do something extra to it because once we're done aging in the American white oak, we're going to move it over to something called a sherry oloroso cask that was aging red wine before. So this has what's known as a red wine finish to it. Yes, excellent. Appropriate reaction to that. From 1 month up to a year, it's going to be in that other barrel absorbing the wine that is still left over in the wall. So things like the color, you can see it immediately, right? Extremely dark with the red tint to it. That is all natural from the wood and also from the wine finish. The scent is also going to be influenced a lot. The sherry is super prevalent and very smooth. But the taste is where this really shines as well, right? This is a specialized sipping experience. Really smooth, a lot of the wine also profile showing through. It's a little bit sweet, but not overpowering. My personal favorite thing about this rum, though, is actually the fact that I just happen to have a sample for all of you to try out.
Oh,
yes. That does deserve applause, yes. Of course, we have to. Can't let you leave without trying the house special. So I'm going to put it over here to the bar. feel free to come over here and grab your very own glass. But the one thing I do ask is that everybody wait until we all have a glass so we can end the tour with a toast.
Yeah.
Sound good? Sounds good. I'll come over here, yeah, get your very own. First come, first serve.
I want to know, do you have free shipping back to the family?
No, no shipping at all. The only way you can possibly get this is to buy it here at CASA BACARDI.
I need number 8 to go here.
Oh yeah, you can, yeah, of course. Yeah. You can't, it's not just all seat, you can also get it here.
Probably rum cake.
Marvin said it's an expensive rum coke. So
Dude, I'm drunk for the summer. What?
It's 180. No, bro.
I don't want to drink it. I have to try the special blend of rum. Yeah.
I got a quick question.
What's up?
What is barrel?
I don't want to drink it.
We can usually get to about 22 years because that's like the end. Rum doesn't age indefinitely, it evaporates over time. So the cutoff year is 22. After that, there's no rum in the barrel. All right, my friends, we all have a glass?
Yes.
Pues raise with me with your left hand.
Left
Honestly,
hand.
left one makes it taste better. Only if you believe it does. That's because in Puerto Rico, always the custom with the left because it is closest to the
Heart.
We're so romantic like that. Now, thank you all so much for being here. On the count of 3, we're going to say salud, like we do over here, okay? Una, dos, tres,
Salud.
And let me know what you think.
Oh, it's wonderful.
Nice.
These two are my favorite ones. This one for its versatility and also a sipping experience, but this one for sipping, just like sitting down and enjoying it. Excellent. By the way, there is one thing I can recommend with this rum, okay? You're not going to want to pair with anything because it's so specialized, but dark chocolate.
Yes.
Yes. Because of the sweet profile of this rum, pairing with something bitter like the chocolate, excellent, excellent, okay? And it also coats your palate, so it makes it go down even smoother as well.
Yeah.
You don't have that behind the counter?
No, we don't have it. But we do have chocolates in the gift shop, okay? And those chocolates, as you might expect from the distillery, are infused with rum.
What is in the block ball?
So this one here is the house special before this current house special.
Wow.
So this was available about 11, 15 years ago. It's a blend of rums up to 16 years. So a much higher age. But doesn't have the finish, right? That one is 8 to 12, but has the red wine finish. This one is just the
Number
age.
8.
Now, if you have finished the glass, feel free to leave it over here or at the table, okay? I'll get to it later. Now, if I may have your attention one final time, I just want to take this moment to thank all of you for coming. Thank you so much for being such a wonderful group. Y nada, my name once again has been Nayel. If you like the experience and want to leave a good review somewhere, I really appreciate it. But, very important, any of you that did not like the experience, my name is something else. Pedro Complicado. Y now, mi gente, tips are also more than welcome and appreciated. And if you have any other questions or jokes or comments, let me know, okay? Now the last part, we're going to go to the gift shop because of course this is Disneyland for rum. So I'll open the doors right now to your right side and we'll head over there. Of course, round of applause for all of you. Oh, just in case anybody curious, the special reserve is $180, okay?
Oh, okay.
Just in case.
And number 8. Number 8.
Yes, excellent. That's how the
Don't even think about it.
Don't even think about it. I mean, you can engrave it too.
That's what's make the Cuban
Hold on.
Which one? Is that when you can do all the cooking and stuff?
This one.
And the tours ended, guys, in no gift shop.
The rest of the variables, the American
Look at that number 10. Bacardi. Oh, number 8. See number 8 here. Oh, they have the shaker. What? Wow, it's cheaper here than all of this. Nice. Bacardi. The tour ends here, guys, in the gift shop.